When there's an injustice against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up. Don't sit down on them. They need you.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet's Diddy Gate coverage. I am Andy Signore here with It's Kim. How you doing, Kim?
I am doing okay. How are you doing? It's another Diddy
I've
day.
had better days. I've had better days. Yeah, if I seem out of it, guys, or if content's light, I had a family issue. I guess I can share. My son was in a car accident, so you can imagine that took me out of it. Thank goodness Kim was able to pop in yesterday because I was at the hospital. He's okay. He's doing better. That's why I can talk about it now. But Kim, that is a traumatizing experience to say the least. I'm still getting back up to speed today, trying to get back into things. So thank you for bearing with me. Please send him and his mom all the wishes. They're doing okay now. But man, that's a scary friggin' thing. So please drive safe. Please tell everybody you love them. It is a terrible thing to deal with. I'm still processing. It is so scary, but I am so grateful. I'm so grateful, Kim, as we all should be. So that's the best I can say. If I seem, everyone's just gonna be like, why does Andy look so depressed? I feel like it's better to address it head on and deal with that than not. I missed a video today. I'm get a lot of other work done, which has been good distraction. But we are here. We're going to continue. Kim has been watching. I'm going to try my best to stay on top of this with you guys, with Kim. But all hail Kim for stepping in when I need her to, because boy, did I need her to. So yes, everything's good now, though. So thank you. Don't worry. He's recouping. He's at home now. Has a cool cast on, Kim. So that's all that matters. Shout out to the doctors, surgeons out in Tampa. They did some great work at Children's. And relieved and happy that everyone is good. But yes, thank you for the healing prayers. Bummer to start the summer. It's a bummer to start the summer, but we'll get through it, Kim. Stay tuned. Thank you for everybody and all the well wishes coming in. Let's get to the show. Thank you for that. But if just preamble, just so in case you're wondering, Andy seems down. Yeah, it is. Just you don't have to comment. Let's get into it, Kim. So today,
absolutely.
Mia was back, correct? Mia was Mia there all day? I didn't get to watch as much of BJ's coverage today, but was she there all day?
For the most part. Basically, Mia took the stand in the morning, and we were under the impression last week that Mia was going to be done by the end of last week. But no, we had another almost 2/3 of a day, all Mia. And the majority of it, I'd say probably 90% of it, was the continuation of cross-examination. And it was brutal. Absolutely brutal. So I've tried to keep all the notes together. We can go through it all. Some of it is repetitive because that's what it was. It was repetitive and ridiculous at points. I honestly started to feel like there was almost like a method to this, that they've been trying to delay something from coming in almost. They just kept almost like berating her. At one point, it actually just kind of felt like harassment. It was ridiculous. But Mia is done. She is off the stand. She is leaving wherever she's going to go now. It was really funny. The judge said, you can go unless you'd like to stay. I'm like, no, I don't think she wanted to stay.
What a weird option.
Yeah,
so before it all began, you mentioned this Eddie Garcia, security supervisor at the LA hotel where Combs was filming in the hotel video, as we all know. He also took the witness stand. Why? So wait, this was just... What was the purpose of this?
Before the jury came in, Eddie Garcia came in. Eddie is on the witness list. He will likely be testifying tomorrow. Ideally, I think they were going to try to have him testify today, but Mia went really, really long, and then they had somebody else that had to catch a flight, so they put her in first. So we'll go through all of that. But Eddie took the witness stand to plead the fifth. So then they decided, okay, Eddie, we're going to give you immunity as long as you tell the truth. It doesn't protect you from perjury, but there you go. You're fine. And we'll find out why tomorrow. Now, the important thing is that he's from the Intercontinental Hotel. He worked in security there. So we know that this very likely has something to do with the Cassie tape. Yeah. Why would a security person be pleading the fifth regarding the Cassie tape?
Good question.
I can't say it for sure, but we know that there was something that went on with that tape with the staff, that it was, gone, right? When the other gentleman came back 2 days later. So there's a lot of questions right now. There's a lot of people who are wondering what it is. I can't say for sure what it is until he takes the stand, but we are guessing that Eddie's testimony is going to be quite illuminating, for lack of a better term.
Clearly. Why else would it be happening this way? Interesting. All right. So they also indicated several times before we get back into Mia, court client would challenge the accuracy of that CNN footage, anticipating the argument, would call this Eddie Garcia to speak more. So that's alluding to that. And then Donald Trump was asked about pardoning Diddy. He responded he would look at the case, but then 50 Cent, I did see this the other day, wrote a whole Instagram saying, oh, no, not on my watch. Diddy has said some terrible things about Donald Trump. I'm going to make sure I get the message to him that he be aware of the truth about Diddy, etc. So 50 really leaning in to try to avoid that presidential pardon, which I saw. I'm like, Trump, again, not getting into the politics of it, but dude, don't make a comment until you do a little homework. It's just the most idiotic. Oh yeah, we'll see. How about you see first before you make comment? How about I'll look. I don't know enough about the case to make a comment. Would have been probably a wiser move, because a lot of people got upset at him for seemingly siding with Diddy, or I'm open to it. Bad look. Let's see how the case proceeds first.
I think there is something hilarious though about the idea that it's possible that a presidential pardon might be, not a thing for Diddy because of 50 Cent. This timeline is crazy. That's all I'm saying.
Who would have thought? We are in a strange multiverse for sure.
Yes. This
and
timeline's weird.
Diddy's family has been a regular presence at the trial. The mother and sons were photographed outside, so they were there again. Okay, so they're still showing up. They haven't disappeared. Many people were wondering, had they disappeared? They haven't. So, all right, that's all the preambles before Mia returned. Defense attorney Brian Steele opened his line of questioning. This was the cross exam, right? By having Mia go over her resume, asking whether she remembered telling Diddy that she was multitasking, worked well under pressure, and had thick skin. Mia told Steele she doesn't remember writing that she had thick skin. Yeah, that doesn't mean she can handle abuse, you absolute moron. But didn't you have thick skin when he threw that
Couldn't
thing
you handle being brutalized and, years and years of complex trauma?
The thick skin should have handled all of it. He later asked if she thought of herself as a leader, which Mia didn't quite know how to respond to. She did agree that she speaks up for herself and could multitask under pressure. When asked directly if she had thick skin, Mia said she thought she did. Washington Post reported that Steele's line of questioning was exhaustively granular. He is picking out positive interactions between Combs and Mia and asking her to explain how a tormented victim could also be affectionate. She has now read out more than 50 messages between the pair over 2 days of testimony. This morning, the prosecution pointed out that Steele had submitted nearly 30 additional exhibits. This was the same line of questioning he followed Friday. The defense introduced a text from Mia to Combs in which she told the defendant that he once in a nightmare saved her from R. Kelly. Mia said in a January 15th text message that she had a terrible dream of being trapped in an elevator with the convicted criminal, but then Combs came and rescued me. Because, dreams are obviously facts.
Exactly.
Kim.
Exactly. I also I'm surprised they weren't trapped in a closet, but okay, trapped in the elevator. We'll go with that.
I know. I
was
was
random thing to bring
trapped
up.
in the closet. Trying to make jokes, but anyway, the judge sustained a government objection that prevented Mia from answering why her alleged attacker Combs was framed as a savior in her dream. I can't believe they had to. I mean, come on, really?
This is why
the
they
defense?
brought her back.
Isn't it true that in a dream once your thick skin had Diddy as your savior? Huh? Jury?
Yeah. Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just thinking this whole time while I'm writing this, I'm like, this is why they needed to keep her another day?
We got to get to the dream, clearly.
I'm screaming, and I can't.
Oh, geez. Anyway, they prevented her from answering that. That was clearly ridiculous. One question about, it's got to make the jury be like, really, dude? Because she was nice in a dream? Come on. One question, we have to get a dream analysis in now to talk about how that doesn't
maybe
mean
we need a dreams expert to take the stand now. Maybe that's what the defense will do. That'll be one of their experts. They'll bring a dream expert in.
I know one, actually. I could bring one in for us to tell everyone that's crazy. Lori, the dream expert, if we need her, Kim, remind me. I can give her a call. Yeah. When questioned about apparently loving texts Mia sent to Combs in the late 2018 through 2019, she testified that she felt bad for Combs after the death of Kim Porter. Combs' defense showed texts following that time in which Mia wrote that she loved Combs and dreamed of him as her savior. months after Porter's death. Now, did she actually say, I dream of you as my savior? Or are they trying to, it sounds like they're trying to combine that and make that what it was. Months after Porter's death, Mia told the court that she didn't think 5 months was a long time to recover from grief and that she hadn't yet understood what happened to her while working for Combs. Valid. She noted that there was a version of Combs who cared for her. Despite her near constant contact with Combs while she worked for him, Mia admits she doesn't have any video of the music mogul during one of its fits of rage. Mia also conceded that she didn't have a text message to a friend to note any, angry outbursts by Combs. She testified that she wouldn't have done so because it would have broken trust and confidentiality with her employer at the time. Yeah, we had a whole thing about he checked her phone and her laptop. Of course he's not keeping receipts because she's terrified that she'll be taken out if she does. Absurd.
Yep.
So Steele pushed back Mia about her testimony last week, during which she said Combs essayed her, asking point blank whether the essay testimony was true. My God. I would not lie in this courtroom, Mia said. I never lied in this courtroom. Everything I've said is true. What a stupid question to ask. Unless you can pull out the tape. Like, why would you ask such a thing? And great answer. She then showed multiple messages from Mia to Combs between another 2-year period after she stopped working for Combs, in which she expressed love and good memories. In one message in August, she wrote that the only things to remember were the good times. Mia told the court that Combs had brainwashed her. She testified that the environment she was in was filled with highs and lows, high highs, low lows. Mia testified that she was always seeking Combs' approval. Several witnesses who have worked for Combs have expressed a cult-like adoration for him. This is consistent with another assistant, George Kaplan, who previously likened Combs to a god among men. When Steele asked if Mia had a moral obligation to report Combs immediately, she said she didn't because I was terrified and brainwashed. It was only when others came forward that Mia said she elected to do so too. It's been a long process. I'm still untangling these things. I'm in therapy. She's answering very well. Anybody who's having doubts about this girl, she's handling herself like a trooper. Good for her. The witness's face was then briefly shown on an internal courthouse feed. Though the air didn't elicit an immediate reaction, for about 8 seconds, a camera showed her, despite the judge's order that her face not be shown or drawn by courtroom sketch artists. When her face was shown in the feed of the overflow room, the prosecution didn't lodge an immediate objection. I'm sure she's going to be pissed later. The jury saw a video Mia made for Sean Diddy Combs' 44th birthday in 2013. She's, again, way early. She's sitting at a desk in a video that tells Combs that she was blessed to call him a friend and thanked him for being one of the biggest inspirations in my life. Oh, so therefore, nothing after must have happened, Kim, because she made a birthday video while working for such a terror. Yeah, must be all lies. Mia said in the video, blowing a kiss, happy birthday, love you. Defense attorney Alex Shapiro said Monday morning that the video supports the defense's argument that Mia is presenting a false persona to the jury. There was then a morning break, Kim. So what happened here? So the federal prosecutor criticized Steele's aggressive questioning, claiming he was prejudicial and suggested he believed Mia was lying. While the judge partially supported Comey's concerns regarding the repetitive nature and tone, he did not fully agree that his approach constituted harassment or intimidation. Should Steele continue with the tactic, the judge said he will begin blocking certain questions. So aggressive, it sounded like, yes?
Pardon? Sorry?
So aggressive at the start, it sounded like.
Very much so. Very much so. And it's like, basically the judge was saying, okay, nothing crazy has happened here that has crossed the line, but he did kind of acknowledge that it's like, some of this has been quite repetitive, and I am going to start telling you to move on, or I'm going to tell you to leave it alone. Like, enough is enough. And I want people to remember that from this break. He has been warned.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And I see some people asking about our thumbnail. The thumbnail is the court sketch artist. I just send it through a realistic filter on ChatGPT. So just so you know, they had that's what they made. It was the face was blacked out in the sketch. Yeah. And I just take what the court gives us. I try to make them a little bit more photorealistic. So
that, and considering Mia's identity is protected, we have no interest in taking an actual photo of her and putting it in our thumbnail.
Yeah, I don't even know where I'd get one because we're not looking at who she is.
We're not doing that. I
take what the court provides, and that's what we have. Just FYI, anybody who was wondering, based on the thumbnail. So then the cross-examine continued. She was pressed to explain why she never told Cassie to leave Sean Combs. Mia said she was scared of her old boss and that she had stepped out of line. Had she stepped out of line, he would have taken me away from Cassie. She also testified that Diddy placed a tracker on Cassie's car. She added that Combs often stole her and Ventura's phones. He had stolen my phone many times. He has stolen Cassie's phone many times. He has put tracking devices in her car. Are we still in the cross? This is nuts.
Yeah.
The cross is doing a terrible job because it's revealing even more stuff about how bad Diddy is. This is like the worst cross ever. She spoke to Cassie after she filed her lawsuit, but Mia testified that she didn't tell Cassie about her own experiences of SA during the conversation. I was still deeply shamed and wanted to die with this, she said. She testified that she never mentioned any SA allegations against Sean in the 2017 mediation over her severance with the company. The line of questioning has been contentious. Defense attorney Steele had about 10 objections sustained against him in just many minutes. Three more celebrity names that came up. Go ahead. Sorry.
So 10 objections in 10 minutes. That's the way this was going. So objection sustained. Objection sustained. The judge told you, stop it. Move on. Not listening. We're just continuing this madness.
He doesn't seem to care.
No.
But he's against the wall because he knows this is a bad look for his client.
Yeah.
So then more names came up. Mia texted Combs many times in the years after she stopped working with him. She suggested he watch the Netflix show Love by comedic director Judd Apatow. I'm sure Judd Apatow loves the mention. Mia also said
honestly though,
Combs,
Andy, Judd wasn't he involved with Get Him to the Greek?
Yes.
Judd? So Diddy was in that film.
Sure.
So I kind of see the connection.
Any reference in this trial is not good, whether it's a positive reference or not. You do not want your name mentioned this, and I'm sure he's trying to steer clear as possible. But yes, he was directed by Judd Apatow. Mia sent Combs and Russell Brand was in there too. Yikes. Mia also sent Combs a text on the 14th of May in 2020 about a tragedy in Dr. Dre's life. It wasn't immediately clear what she was referencing. Puffy, my head is broken about Dre. I've spent all week crying for you as well. Later, she also texted about Chadwick Boseman's death. Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther. Combs replied, "How are you? Yeah, life is crazy." Okay. So what does anything have to do? What does this have to do with anything? Combs' defense pushed Mia about why she waited to tell the government her allegations of SA against Combs, saying it took about 7 or 8 months until she revealed the information to prosecutors. Mia told the court that she doesn't remember the exact conversations, but that she did not tell the government until she had retained legal representation. The reasons are privileged, she said. Attorney-client privilege protects the confidentiality of communications between a lawyer and a client. Yeah, well said. She's definitely been prepared, and she's standing up to all the aggression, it seems. So then what happened to the lunch break, Kim? One
NBC
female juror was seen smiling.
Yeah, NBC reported this during the lunch break that I thought was kind of interesting. Apparently, one female juror has been seen smiling, seemingly enjoying the defense attorney as cross-examination. Sometimes the juror widened her eyes and furrowed her brow, appearing skeptical of some of Mia's testimony. Something I had told.
That confirmed, not to interrupt, but yeah, I've heard that as well, that there's people enjoying sort of the Diddy defense. So take that as you will.
Yeah, but one of the things I talked about last week is there's been a few people that think people have assumed that I've been inside the courtroom. I'm not. I'm in a different country. I'm following all of the reporting from multiple outlets, trying to put kind of all the pieces together and make sense of everything. But if I see something about the jury, I will let you guys know. And that is one of those instances where I did see something and it has been shared.
And I'll try to get some Emily and others who we know who are there. We'll try to bring them in this week again to get some thoughts from how the jury's been acting. So then Steele asked Mia if she was let go from Combs' company over alcohol abuse, to which she replied, absolutely not. The witness said she went out to work for Madonna after being let go. Well, that's clearly not then something bad. Madonna's a pretty big deal herself, right?
I couldn't find a really good paragraph that encapsulated it, but there was one outlet that did report that they said, so you weren't blacklisted. And she just said, well, Madonna didn't care about Diddy, basically, was kind of so I don't, maybe Madonna knows more than we think. Maybe she knew.
Interesting.
I don't know.
8-month stint with the Material Girl. Mia said she worked as an assistant in addition to the Icon's film division. Good for her. She then went on to secure the Madonna gig independently without Combs' help. I love to hear that. And I love to hear Madonna hooked her up instead of listening to Diddy. Steele asked if there was any evidence that Mia had been blacklisted by Combs and suggested she was able to move on with no retribution. Mia disagreed. He took away the TV show I created, she said, as well as the credit I was promised on other projects she had worked on. It was also revealed that the ABC show she wrote was a comedy about how a person from a small town dealt with a person such as Mr. Combs. Mia was asked several questions about Cassie's working life during her years with Combs, as the defense apparently tried to undermine prior witnesses' implications that he stunted Cassie's career. Steele asked Mia questions about Cassie obtaining modeling jobs, movie work, even music she wanted worked on with other artists, such as Wiz Khalifa, Nicki Minaj. Mia testified that all this was done with Combs' knowledge and consent. Repeatedly, Steele alluded to Mia's essay story and her therapy notes. On multiple occasions, she had said that is privileged information. Each time the prosecution objected and the judge had sustained the objection, told Steele to move on and or called a sidebar. So she's trying to bring in her therapy. Jesus.
He just was like, he kept trying to bring it up like over and over and over. And I mean, those are just the ones that I know about. And from the sounds of it, it was just rapid fire in there. So I can't say that that was the only time that it happened, but I literally, that's why I have the 1, 2, 3 there, sourced 3 different times. I was able to identify that he just kept bringing it up. And the judge is going, no, move on. No, sidebar, get over here. Stop it. Keep going. Overruled or sustained. Sorry to the prosecution. Just bizarre. Right.
Well, then he brought up text messages where Mia said she was going to unalive herself. He suggested that the feeling of dread at being fired showed that she loved the job and would be willing to exact revenge for being dismissed. Oh my God. Ma'am, would you agree with me that the reason you wrote that text message exchange is because you loved that job? My entire world was being ripped away from me. And even if in hindsight, that world was awful, I didn't know it at the time. Well said. Well said.
Kind of like when you're going through a breakup and you think that like it's the worst thing ever when it ends and your friends are telling you it's probably the best thing for you, keep going, and you can't see it yet, but you do in time.
Right.
Like,
and you keep texting even though you're not supposed to. Exactly. Yeah, we've all been there. Yep.
Yep.
You don't know sometimes until you finally let it settle in. Exactly. Until time is settled and you're out of it. So yeah, disgusting testimony, or cross. Mia's cross then moved into the former assistant's observations of Combs' relationship with Cassie, whether she was jealous of other women. She's already said she was. She testified that in her experience, she only recalls Ventura being upset that she saw Combs with another woman while Ventura was filming in South Africa. Mia testified that the relationship was presented to Ventura as one of the exclusivity between her and Combs. When defense attorney Brian Steele noted that clearly wasn't true, Mia told the court it was not clear to her. Steele asked about, again, she's just not, I don't see any wins or points from the defense here. She's batting them all back. Steele asked her about when Diddy slammed a door on her arm multiple times. He asked if she got medical help. She said no, and that she wasn't allowed. She also did not take pictures. Again, she's explained why. She's terrified. Steele then asked her if she screamed. She said no due to the shock. Steele recalled her prior testimony saying she was scared of being unalived, asking Mia if there were times she felt she could die at Combs' hand. Mia told the court that he had threatened her physically and worse. Steele asked if she was being paid to testify. She said, no, that's not even a thing. The court then stopped for a short break. Steele said this morning that he expected to be done by lunch, but then prefaced that the timeline with, I'm terrible. He sure is. At least he admits it, Kim. It's now an hour past lunch. Other witnesses are waiting. The judge said court would probably run late today to accommodate a witness with a flight back to LA. Immediately after the break, Mia finished. The redirect, this was, and then did we get to the other witness? Oh, we did. Okay.
We do.
All right, good. There is something else coming. I wasn't sure. So then after that, the redirect, she was asked about her work with Combs, which included managing all of Combs' social media presence. She testified that if Combs did not feel as if she was doing her job, Mia would be punished and her job would have been threatened. This apparently included posting for Combs' birthday, as Mia told the court she would have been in trouble if she didn't post. Mia disclosed she was strictly prohibited from publishing negative content about her boss. The prosecution asked, is that why you didn't post about having a computer thrown at your head? No, it's because she has thick skin. Remember, Kim? No, she responded, yes. The prosecution then asked, is that why you didn't post about Mr. Combs essaying you? Of course. Yes, of course. I mean, I guess this is their point, making the point. Mia said she had good reason to keep working hard and ensuring Combs was pleased because when he was happy, I was safe. Oh, that's a really effective and terrifying line right there.
Yep.
When he was happy, I was safe. Prosecution said, defense repeatedly asked Mia why she stayed with Combs despite all the aggression and attacks. Mia didn't distance herself from previous statements of admiration from Combs, saying that the high highs at that point of her career in life seemed to make up for the low lows. Prosecution had Mia reiterate her feelings of fear in talking about Combs, with her testifying that her terror and difficulty understanding what happened was partly why she met with the government so much. Prosecutor asked Mia if she had ever been able to speak about her allegations that Combs essayed her without looking down. No, it's the worst thing I've ever had to talk about in my life. The witness said she had no choice but to testify against Combs because she didn't want her younger female loved ones to turn a blind eye to essay. Ooh, that's strong. I can't look at my niece or my goddaughters in the eyes in the future if they happen to be in this situation. That is strong, effective testimony. Whew. So she then was free to go. I heard, and they asked, would you like to stay? I'm sure she was hightailed out of there.
Totally
so who was up
wanted
next?
To, for sure.
This
so then
Sylvia
we had
Oaken?
Sylvia, yes, who was an area director of sales and marketing at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
You want to walk us through her testimony?
I can if you want. So basically, the government was planning to introduce a number of Sean Combs's booking records at different hotels, which the jury will be tasked with reviewing. It's going to be a part of the RICO and understanding all of that. And to help jurors know what they were looking at, the prosecutors have been calling hotel custodians to walk through the records. I'm guessing that may be kind of what happened with the tech expert we had before as well, that there's going to be other evidence and they just need to know what they are. So this hotel custodian is Sylvia. So she explained exhibits for a Mr. Philip Pines, which was an alias that was used by Combs while staying in a hotel. Funnily enough, it's also the name of a former employee who has filed a lawsuit against Combs, so that's fun. Pines is the most recent alias for Combs. She also did bring up rooms that were booked under Frank Black. We've heard that name before as well. And that is the one that he used while he was having FOs with Cassie, according to her testimony last month. She also did share that before she worked for the Beverly Hills Hotel, she was an entertainment sales director in a role that she was in charge of bookings for clients in the entertainment industry. So she knows a lot about how all of this works. They then showed the jury a $500 bill from the hotel to Combs that included charges for oil damage.
Oil damage. Oh.
Oil damage was the way that it was described.
Yikes.
Yeah. And the prosecution asked how the room was paid for. She responded to T. Fletcher at Bad Boy, paid by Amex of Sean Combs. So there's the Bad Boy right there.
Ricola!
Ricola! Do-do-do. So the jury was then dismissed. We were free.
Sorry, is Oaken coming back then? I guess they're doing a cross tomorrow?
They didn't really do any cross. I think the cross examination was they asked, was Cassie with Diddy in these rooms when they were booked? And I believe she said yes.
Got it. So she's out. That was the one who needed to leave back to LA. They got her in and out.
Yeah,
understood.
They needed they needed her input to be able to explain the hotel records, which I'm guessing are going to be more important later on, but they had to be introduced properly. So that's been done. So the jury leaves, and then there's a bit of a discussion amongst the lawyers. So specifically with Eddie Garcia. So he's the one at the beginning of the day we heard came in and pled the fifth and then was given immunity. Will be testifying for an estimated hour and a half. And he should be the next one up. Then the prosecution expects a video expert will take the stand. And Eddie was the one who worked at the Intercontinental Hotel security. Now, Comey then said, Jane, another one of Combs's accusers, who is using the Jane Doe name, could take the stand as early as Wednesday afternoon. The plan is to get Jane off the stand in plenty of time for an international flight that she is scheduled to catch next Thursday. And this is the one we don't know who she is. We don't know who she is. But clearly they're going to be, the problem what I'm seeing right now is after Mia, right? Is this what they're going to do to her? This international flight? Is this going to be more of an issue with the judge saying, like, you've been warned that this woman has to leave, right? And we've seen this over and over and over again with the defense just drawing out these cross-examinations. So this may be something to watch that could be a point of tension as we go through her testimony.
And appeals. They're gonna try to make all this an argument again in the appeals, right?
Yeah. Now, Maureen Comey also acknowledged that Mia's face was mistakenly shown on a video piped into the courthouse overflow room. The judge asked if something went wrong with the redacted footage that shouldn't have been aired, or if an incorrect version was used, and the prosecution said they did not have an answer.
What a fantastic show. I went on a crazy rant. Make sure to watch the full show as a member. Make sure you support It's Kim over on YouTube. She's been crushing it. Thanks so much, Kim, for real. Couldn't keep doing this without you. You've been crushing it. So thanks so much, especially given this past week I missed. And subscribe to her. And also, stay tuned tomorrow. We're going to be announcing something on this channel. So go subscribe to it. It's called Popcorn Music. I might put a little logo at the end of this. So go check it. Go subscribe. Stay tuned. More is coming. Make sure you've subscribed in all 3 channels, Popcorn Planet, Popcorn Music. It's Kim. Hit the bell for all alerts. Smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Also, shout out to BJ, that surprise witness, for redirecting all her fans to us today. We'll be back again tomorrow and every day after the Diddy trial. Kim or I. Stay tuned. And a lot more coming your way here on Popcorn Planet. Nerd Report is next. Check him out. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys soon.